From the grand lobby of Saginaw's former post office, where history was once stamped, sorted, and sent on its way, comes a show about the people who keep the Castle Museum running like a well-oiled machine. Welcome to Postscript, the podcast that delivers the stories behind the exhibits, the laughter behind the scenes, and the passionate folks who keep this historic landmark buzzing. On today's edition of Postscript, we'll be hearing from Outreach Coordinator Dr. Jennifer Vannette. Let's listen in and see what Jen has to say. All right, welcome back to another edition of Postscript. And this week, I'm here with Dr. Jennifer Vannette. Jen, would you like to tell us a little bit about your title, what you do here at the museum?
Okay. I am the Outreach Coordinator. And we joke that we don't actually know what that means because I do a lot of different things. But mainly I like to think of it as focusing on how to make connections with people and how to make people feel welcome when they come into this space.
Okay, and you are the one responsible for all of these exciting events.
Yes.
That take place here, right?
Yeah. So,
kind of.
Yeah. So I end up overseeing our education, and that includes programming and then also marketing, which honestly is about like that communication bit, but because you do the marketing and an excellent job with that, that makes my life easy. It's more just like supporting you and then brainstorming with you when we need to like
just do what I can.
Dream up things. So otherwise you kind of run the show. And then Christy is our education coordinator, and she really just runs the show when it comes to all of our youth programming. And she goes into like all of the schools. That's part of that millage thing because the millage supports us, that allows us the ability to send Christy into all elementary schools. And she has programs that fit state standards, and she was a former teacher, so she knows that stuff, knows how to look up that stuff, and talks to her teacher network to make sure that it's fitting. So she does all of that. So again, I just have to have support and sometimes brainstorming when she's thinking about new programs or some summer programs and things like that. So then what I directly end up doing is all of the adult or older youth programming. So that includes our lunch and learns and history after hours. It includes giving tours. I go into middle schools and high schools, again, for free, thanks to that millage. So I provide middle school, high school programming. And then, it's like, what else do I do? Then I dream up other programs. I think about things like our special member appreciation things, like our Only Murders in the Building, that type of stuff.
Okay.
That's falls in my lap.
And how did you come up with, speaking of the Only Murders in the Museum? It was very popular. We got a lot of hullabaloo around that. How'd you come up with that?
So that was like us brainstorming and like trying to think, like, we always try to make it special, and nothing was coming to us. And Only Murders in the Building, the TV show, was getting ready to air its next season. So that was on my mind. Plus this one is constantly in a cold case murder world. And so it just kind of coalesced. And I was like, what if we did a murder mystery? I wanted to do one for a long time. But I had trouble wrapping my head around how to do it. So sometimes I have an idea, but it actually has to sit for a while because I either don't have the resources or just the logistics of how to pull it off. It's not like coming to me yet. So this one, like a murder mystery in the building, had been like a dream for a number of years. And I don't know, all the pieces that, like when we were brainstorming for those themes, it's like all the pieces just finally clicked together. And I realized if we turned our building into like a live action clue board, like we could make this work. It was a lot of fun trying to figure out how y'all would murder somebody
It
and
was
why.
a lot of fun. And I will say, as far as the guest perspective, it was hard. A lot of people couldn't figure it out. I mean, I think they weren't reading closely enough all the clues.
Yeah.
But
It was, I wanted it to be challenging enough that you didn't just like look at a couple things and be like, oh yeah, I got it.
right.
You know, but maybe it was too hard. We'll have to see. I think we're going to do it again. I don't know.
People were maybe having like too many glasses of wine and then trying to figure it out.
Yes, that's possible. It's possible. Maybe you need to be on your game. People are also like so creative and inventive and like reading things into it. Like if they knew some of the staff, they would be like, oh, well, because I know Catherine, she would have done, and it was like, just read the clue card. Right. Don't add. We made it work, I promise.
See, they know us too well.
That's they knew us a little too well. But yeah, no, it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. People had a lot of fun. It was so much fun to create it that, yeah, I think we're going to have to do it again.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people loved it. So I'm looking forward to that. Different murderer, perhaps?
Oh, sure. Oh, it'll all change. Just like anytime you play the board game Clue and, you shuffle and all the who with what and where always changes. So it'll change.
Okay. All right. Now, speaking of big events, we just had Frosty Fest here at the beginning of December, and it was like a record blowout turnout.
It was amazing. So
what do you attribute that to?
I think it's a lot of our team working together. So my only portion of Frosty Fest really is just like organizing the logistics of it. I do a lot of logistics work around here. That's actually what I do. I spend a lot of time on logistics. But that was kind of like, what are we having? Who's manning stations? Who's doing things? So that, making sure Santa's available and bringing Santa, those types of things I worried about. But like you had the brainchild of taking our mascot Widget and bringing him to life.
Absolutely.
And Widget debuted at Holidays in the Heart of the City, where we also gave out cookies with invitations. Mm-hmm. And Widget was so popular.
People, young and old, loved Widget.
Everyone wanted a picture with Widget. And everybody loves a chocolate chip cookie. So we passed out more than 400 invitations to Frosty Fest. So that's one thing. Some of it is just finding those key places to advertise, which you're good at doing. And then some of it was Christy when she would go out to the schools, dropping off flyers for it. That's huge too. So a lot of times when things work really well here, it's not because like I did something or you did. It's because like there's a lot of teamwork.
So what do you think is the hardest part of trying to plan these different events? I mean, besides just logistics in general, but obviously we want people to come to the museum. We want people to have a good time. Mm-hmm. How do you figure that out? How do you get people in the doors? I mean, obviously excellent marketing, but
obviously it's Catherine that does that. I think a lot of it is having to always be creative about like what we could do, what could we do next, what haven't we done, what was successful, but how can we spin it so it feels fresh. There is a lot of brainstorming, a lot of creative thinking that goes into the different types of events, especially, and even the programs. So I think some of it is just like that big idea. What is the idea that's going to draw people? And then how do you make it fun? Is this an adults thing where we can do like drinks, music, some mingling and fun? Is it something for any age where we can throw costumes into the mix? That's always fun.
Okay, costumes are always good.
Games and different, so there are always different possibilities about how to make it fun. And it's one of my jobs is trying to dream up like how do we make this particular event fund to the
Okay.
community.
Yeah, some are winners, but every now and then you get one where
Yeah.
not a lot of people show up.
Yeah.
We often blame just Michigan weather, though.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, if it is too cold or too windy or too rainy or too snowy, they won't come. But if it's too nice,
They also won't come. They want to be outside. Yes.
right? So it's always the weather's fault.
And it's fair, I think, to blame the weather. Absolutely fair.
Yeah.
Well, Jen, what about a little bit about your background? Because what people want to know about that doctor, Vannette.
Yeah. So I'm a historian, PhD in history. Specifically, I focused, U.S. history, but I focused primarily on the 20th century, human and civil rights stuff. I don't know. So the one thing I have a love-hate relationship when people are like, will you do like a career talk or a career day for our school? Because on the one hand, I love like being with students and,
Sure.
They're in this space of possibility, which is exciting for them. I love to see that. For me though, like people always want like this, like you do the thing, you go to school, you do the stuff, and that's how you get the job. And my life is not like that at all.
But, I think that's true of a lot of people in the history world,
I
the
think
museum
so too.
world, is that you maybe got here in an unconventional manner.
Yeah.
And so I think maybe that's more valuable for some of those students is to think like, yes, I could go to school for these things and hopefully end up there. Or I could go to school for something else that I also love and maybe I'll still end up there.
Yeah. That's true. I think that I'm a prime example of, and I think you are too, but of like when you think about education as learning how to learn and like building skills around that, then that transfers to a lot of different things.
Right.
So it's not just about learning this content to apply to something. I get this a lot here too, in that I didn't grow up in Saginaw. And so people will be like, well, how did you learn all the history? Like, if I'm giving a tour, say, well, how did you learn all of this? Well, I learned how to learn. Like I can learn. Like
Right.
I came in and I learned this history more deeply than I understood it before because I was already primed to be able to learn it, if that makes sense to people. So yeah, I started out in art. I was an art history and graphic design major for undergrad. And I was an art teacher.
Okay.
And I ran youth programming for a while. Had a couple kids along the way, and then eventually decided to go back to school. And I was only going to do a master's in history at Central Michigan. And I loved it and ended up doing a second master's at University of Strathclyde in Scotland on the way of doing the PhD. And so, yeah, I somehow became...
and this all led to being outreach coordinator.
Right. And so then I was doing a few things. I was doing some independent consulting work and some adjuncting, and the job here came up, and so I applied, and
the rest is
history.
As everyone loves to say.
Yes.
So you mentioned your kind of art background.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still use that at all for anything here?
Well, I have to tell you to fix margins.
Margins are for suckers.
No, I do. But yeah, I do. I use it all the time. It's not always completely obvious, but yes, I use it. I use it when I'm thinking about sometimes programming stuff. Even like that Only Murders in the Museum. There was a lot of thinking through like the look of it so that it also functioned. Like form and function go hand in hand. And sometimes like that design helps the function work. So like while I was designing the game and stuff, that that was part design, part game, right?
Yeah.
I teased you about margins, but I do help with some of the visuals around here. And then I help with both the history side, I help with researching with exhibits, but then I also help with some of the appearance or, being available to bounce ideas off of with colors or space planning and things like that. So I assist in that realm.
Yeah, I think the last few weeks of doing these podcasts, especially, we've kind of learned that everybody is kind of all things here, right?
Yes.
I mean, we have a decent sized staff, but it's not a huge staff. And everybody kind of chips in where they can. Everybody uses different skills that they have. I think it works great. It makes for a very well-rounded team, right? Everybody can kind of see where things fit.
Yeah. Everybody's able to kind of pitch in and help in different ways. And, where, you do an excellent job, like say laying out our newsletter and planning it. But
you mean the award?
The award-winning, the
Courier?
state award-winning Castle Courier. But even anytime anybody does a large project of that scale, it's still a large scale thing. There's a lot of detail. There's design. Again, the design has to help people navigate that newsletter. You need other people to take a look at it. So we have several people who proofread. I proofread plus look at design and offer suggestions as to how to balance something out. And then that makes it the award-winning final product. Or, I'm doing a program. I need people to help volunteer. I need people who have creative ideas to share with me because, as much as I said, I spend a lot of time having to be creative. You can't always do that all the time. You need to feed off of other people's ideas too. So thankfully we have a creative staff that offers their suggestions, especially when we're trying to come up with titles and things like that. It's, so we end up with everything. Everybody needs help from each other and everybody offers help to each other.
Which is nice.
It is nice.
It's nice to have that help.
Yeah.
Well, Jen, you mentioned that everybody's kind of creative and interesting here. You can tell me, who do you think is the weirdest staff member here at the museum?
Oh.
This is just between you and I.
No, just between you and I and everybody listening. That's a good one. You really caught me off guard. Going to take a sip of my Diet Coke while I ponder how to answer without getting in trouble. The weirdest.
The weirdest. But weird in a good way.
Yeah.
Not weird in a...
I mean, the thing is, a lot of people around here have some quirks, and they're all great. I think one of the weirdest, funniest things is how much Wayne refuses to be caught on camera or it wouldn't sit down for this podcast.
I know.
He
That's
is
what we learned last
amazingly
time.
talented and skilled but
he likes to be behind the scenes.
He wants to stay behind the scenes. So that is a quirk. Because even before you got here, trying to capture that man's photo, even.
Well, he is the Bigfoot of the museum, as we learned from Deanna.
The Bigfoot, yes. So we have wait. With Jeff, we have a raccoon.
Yes.
And with Wayne, we have a Bigfoot. Okay.
So what are you?
I don't know. What am I?
A lot of logistics. Gotta be creative. I don't know. I don't have a soul creature to connect you with offhand.
All right, we'll have to think about that one.
Think about it. Yeah. Maybe whoever I talk to next will have a comment on that. So you think Wayne is perhaps the
Well, I mean, Wayne's got
He's the
that
most
one.
mysterious,
Like,
for sure.
yeah, there's that mysterious thing. You're pretty quirky. We
No.
never really know what's coming from you. So there's that.
Keep people on their toes.
And you are always up for a good costume and a good Jell-O mold. I mean, that's a little weird. I do get the weirdest social media posts from you. Absolutely.
No.
The strangest DMs I get will be like the most disgusting 1950s Jell-O salad situation.
But those things made me think of you.
What does that say? What does that say? That inspires you to send that to me?
That's right. I don't know, but definitely, I'm like, you know who needs this? Jen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I open them, and I usually text back something like, "No."
Not even for a minute do you wonder, is it maybe good?
Oh no, I do wonder, like, who thought of this, and how is it structurally sound? Sometimes I think about that, but no, it's a rare one that I've ever thought, maybe. Most of them I'm just like, I'm not eating that.
Well, the cheese mold that the Castle Test Kitchen put together last Sunday, delicious, right?
It was. That one
not
actually
the best
worked.
Title, cheese mold,
right?
For salad, which I still don't fully understand, but
yeah, like call it a cheese ring or something. I don't know,
but it was good. It was one of those concoctions that maybe on its surface seemed a little sketchy, but ended up being a winner.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at, the ingredients didn't even really make sense to me.
Yeah, very small amounts of things in there.
Yeah, so I wasn't really expecting much, and it's like really good. Like a couple days later, when it's like all those flavors and married, and I stood corrected on that one. That one was actually delicious.
There you go. What was that one that we made that was like a savory gelatin, but it had like olives in it, green olives.
Right.
That one was not good.
No, but I don't even like olives.
It was like an atomic. We did all those posts about the Cold War.
Right, when we did Spies in Space.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can feel the vibes. Sweet, savory. They were going for something.
They were trying to do that salty brine thing with the, but
didn't work.
No. But see, and this is why you're one of our quirkier staff members, because, if there's like a delicious one, like I was trying to tell you about the cherry Coke Jell-O salad, and you were just like, whatever. But that one's actually tasty. You gravitate towards whatever anybody is going to have the reaction of, oh no.
My policy in life is one time for anything I will try. Beyond that, then you can judge if it's not good or not. Okay. You have to have a wide palate.
Well, that's fair.
So,
I would like to say, in my defense, even though I don't like olives, I did the Kewpie burger road trip, and I ate a lot of olive burgers that day.
That's right.
I soldiered on.
It's a mission classic. Well, I could talk all day about Jell-O molds and hamburgers, olive burgers. I love olives. But I think that's probably about our time. Anything you want to add about your role here at the museum?
I just hope that whenever people come and visit us or see us out in the public, that, they feel like they belong here, that they enjoy coming to the space, they either find something fun or something meaningful. And that's just the goal.
This is their museum.
It's their museum. Right? I'm just a steward of the space.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for our time today, and thank you for tuning in this week to hear us. Hopefully you're enjoying learning about all these different staff members. Strange or not, you be the judge.
I'm not that strange, really.
To be debated. We'll talk more about that in a future episode. How's that?
We'll have somebody else talk about
That's right. Somebody else will be like, Jen is the weirdest person at this museum. And they'll have that soul creature that
Maybe they
connects
will.
with you.
I'll be excited to tune in and find out what they think about me.
It's probably like a capybara or something unusual.
Ooh, that could be fun.
Or a chupacabra.
Well, I don't know.
All right. Well,
All right.
tune in next time to find out more about that. And thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.
This is Postscript,